Welcome back to another episode of the Highlight Reel. I'm your host, Jhariah, again, of course. And we are walking into a new month. We are walking into what some people will call their real New Year and everything like that. But I have a few things I just want to talk about and discuss in this episode. Very brief and everything, but I think that this is a good time to discuss it as young adults and just as people at this point of the year. We are walking into Black History Month. That always resonates with me as a Black person and everything, but it makes me think back on a lot of history, a lot of things that have happened for me to get here, a lot of people that have come before me, and a lot of history that can still be made in my lifetime and for, the people that come after me as well. But I think that coming into this point of the year, again, as I referenced before, a lot of people have already kind of messed up into whatever goals they've set. And I think that with those goals that you may have already messed up with, there's still time for you to bounce back. As I've already said before, there's still time for you to bounce back and get into these things because there's a goal that you did set and there's a reason why you wanted to get to that, because that reason might change your life. It might change your children's lives, or it might change your family's lives, but it starts with you. And what I wanted to discuss mainly in this episode is that you need to remember your why. Now, when you remember your why, this is something that should drive you to become that person that you said that you wanted to be, or to do that thing that you said that you wanted to do, because that why it's going to take you and it should help you transform into what you need to become, because it might be something that you want, but when you think about why you want it, that's an even deeper layer as to how you should get there, or it should drive as far as your determination to get to this point. So what do I mean when I say that? Remember your why. I know for me, there have been plenty of goals that I've set for this year. Now, I don't really do resolutions anymore or anything like that, but I know for me that there are things that I want to make sure I get to this year. I have big lofty goals, but I feel like for you to get to the lofty goals, you have to set some smaller goals. And why do I want to get there? Is because it's going to require certain things of me to change, certain things for me to learn, certain things for me to take action on today, certain things that I'm going to have to change about myself, and that is going to make you uncomfortable. But usually when you want to get to a certain point, you're going to have to become uncomfortable. So then it's like a caterpillar and a butterfly. You're going to have to become something different for you to get a different result. You're going to have to become a new person. It's like the life that you want is going to cost you the old you, basically, right? So there are so many things that I think about when I'm thinking about remembering my why, but also when you remember your why, you have to remember who you are. So think about that as well. For you to remember your why, you have to remember who you are, because that also informs your why. You want to get to this point because of your current family situation, or something that happened to you when you were younger, or something that happened to your little brother, your little sister, something that's going on with your mother, different things like that. You have to think about who you are and what your situation around you look like, because that's going to drive further your why. It's going to bring you back to where you think about your situation holistically and think, okay, this is who I am in this current point, in this situation. I want to get out of this because this is my situation. But you have to remember where you are and who you are to then drive your why. And I'm saying all this because I want us to get back on track. You may have already messed up some of your goals, or you think you did, but as I referenced before, you have plenty of time. But I want us to all get back on track and remember our why, remember who we are, because these things are important. And if you lose track of that, the things that you say you want will slip out of your hands. They will slip out of your fingers. And I'm not saying this just to you, the audience. I'm saying this for me, myself, and I. There are some things that I've already tried to do and have changed in my life already a little bit in this year, that I can see some results, or I hope I will see results from these changes that I have made, because they play a huge part into my reasoning for my why. I know I want to become this kind of person. So if I want to become this kind of person, I need to do this thing and this thing and this thing. And again, these are very uncomfortable truths. These are very uncomfortable situations, circumstances, because again, it's never comfortable when you want to have a different result. Usually when you're comfortable, you're going to keep getting the same results and you're used to that. You're used to that thing. But when you want something else, you're going to have to switch it up. And this might be a good time to do it. You could say for right now, you've had a month of trial and you're saying, okay, this is not working. This thing right here is not working. So what do I need to do to change my situation? And I know I'm really speaking for myself. Like, I know I'm speaking to me as well when I say these things. When you remember your why, it needs to drive you. It needs to be something that's going to motivate you to make a change. And whatever that reason is, you have to find it, but you cannot forget why you did it, why you're making that decision, who you are, and how that's going to inform and influence the decisions you need to make so you can get back on track. So you can get back on track and do the things that you said that you wanted. So again, like, we're in Black History Month, and I know you may have already messed up or whatever that may look like, whatever that may be. But this is a month that just makes me think about all the people and all the things that have happened for me to get here. Because I've referenced before, certain things that I learned when I was in college just always make me think about what has come before me and who came before me to get here. They had to have a reason why. I might even be the reason why they did it. That might be the same for you. The family that you don't even have yet may, and for a lot of people that is the case, will play a huge part into why you are motivated to do these things, because you might not like your current situation, right? You might not like the situation that you were born into, or you might not like the situation that you already placed yourself in, and you know what you want to come from you. There are different things that are going to influence what you need to be doing, because if you don't do these things, those other things that you say you want, they might be as good as gone. So you have to take action. You have to you have to be proactive and not, I don't want us to live with regret. I really don't want us to live with regret. You're better off living with, the pain of discipline, the pain of sacrifice, than the pain of regret, because that's way worse. There's nothing you can do about it. That time is gone. But you can do something about right now. You can do something about today, the next hour, next minute. You can do something about that. Time that's already gone is gone. What are you going to do with that? Nothing you can do. It's not here. It's not yours anymore. It's gone. And I was also just wanting to think about how this might be going off tangent just slightly a little bit, but recently I was in church and my uncle, he basically gave a message and was talking about how you have to keep moving forward, because there might be things behind you that you're leaving. And if you try and stop, those things might come back and may literally try to take you off your path, or may literally try to X you out of life. I'll just put it nicely that way. Right. But there also might be something in front of you that you think is going to stop you. Now, I believe in God. I believe in God. That's me. And he said, in this instance, God is likely about to do something in your life. And I know for me, that touched me, because I definitely feel like there's some things behind me that are trying to take me out, whether it's something that I was born into or something that I did, a decision that I made that is still impacting me right now. But if I stop and I let those things catch up to me, or I try to go back that way, those things might keep me where I was. That's not where I want to be. That's not where I want to be. I'm trying to move forward. Your feet face forward. They don't face backwards. You're supposed to keep moving forward. And that kind of informed me wanting to make this episode, because when you remember where you came from and you remember the thing behind you that you don't want anymore, these are things that should help you remember why you need to leave, or why you need to change, why you need to do this thing that you said. Because if you don't, the things that are in front of you that you haven't got to yet, you can't get to them if you don't even take the steps forward. And they don't have to be huge steps. I didn't say take leaps. I didn't say jump like the Hulk, jump across the world. I didn't say anything like that. Take steps day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour, whatever it is. Just make sure that you're taking the progress to get there, because if you don't, then you won't get there. You have to start somewhere. Man, like I said, I know I'm speaking to me. I hope that I'm speaking to you as well, because we have time to rectify whatever you might have already messed up on. We are in the second month of the year. We're in the second month of the year. There's plenty of time. If this is your, new year or whatever you want to call it, fine. But just do what you need to do to make sure that you get to where you say you want to go. And when you say that where you want to go, the things that you want to do, remember why you said that. Just make sure you remember why you said that. It's going to inform how you might need to get there, or what it's going to cost you and what it's going to take for you to get there. These things are important. These are our lives. We have to take action with our lives. You might think that it's going to magically happen. I've thought that so many different times about my life, but that's not how it works. That's just not how it works. It doesn't work that way. For example, with my podcast, I knew I wanted it. And why did I want it? I believe that I did want to have a platform to speak, to meet people, speak with other people, get ideas so we can build a community around different interests, different thoughts, different topics that we are all dealing with, as young people. But I wanted to help people. That's a big reason why I wanted to do it. And again, I could not have even gotten to this point with the podcast if I didn't take the steps forward and I didn't remember my why. I didn't remember who I was. I know I like to talk a lot. So that informed and influenced why I wanted to do that. There are so many things that go into why, your reasoning for why. Let me phrase that better. There's so many things that go into your reason why, and let that drive you to make the changes that you need to make. That's really the gist and the main point that I want to say. Again, remember your why, because when you get off track, when you remember that detail, it's going to help you to get back on track. And I know that's how it's been for me. I hope that this is something that can help you as well, because again, we have time. You might have already messed up on whatever, but you have time to get back to the thing that you said you wanted. You can still be on track for the thing that you say you wanted for the end of the year, the end of this month, the end of the halfway mark of the year, whatever it may be. You have the time, but you have to remember your why so you can get back on track. That's really all I got for this episode of the Highlight Reel. But I hope that this helps you start your month off correctly, because I know we all may need some motivation. And at the beginning of a new month, there's a feeling of newness, a feeling of freshness, different things like that. But these are things that should help you, that should help drive you to become this better version of this better person that you said that you want to be. So again, this has been your episode of the Highlight Reel. I hope that you've been able to take something away from it. And again, that's been your episode. Peace out.